I just got back from my screening of Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and I can officially confirm that Sadie Sink is playing the MCU's Shathro. Just kidding, she's playing Jean Grey. Hey everyone, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, phenomenal movie. I can't get over how beautiful it looked, both from a cinematography and a color perspective. This one, more than ever, really rested on the shoulders of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. By far the best Spider-Man film of his run, and honestly, I'd say it's the best live-action Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. I'm going to do a non-spoiler review of the film, as well as a full spoiler discussion covering the ending and the post-credits scene. I'll save my detailed thoughts on the movie overall for those videos, but in this one, we're talking about Sadie Sink. We're talking about Jean Grey. She is the woman herself, Marvel Girl, also known, of course, as Jean Grey. I'm going to share my thoughts on this casting, how she did in the film, what I think it means for the future of the X-Men in the MCU, and why introducing Jean Grey right here, right now, before Doomsday and Secret Wars, and in a Spider-Man movie of all places, was just brilliant. And we'll talk about where I think we'll see her next. It's been rumored for months now, maybe even a year, that Sadie Sink would be playing Jean Grey in the MCU, specifically in the next Spider-Man movie as well as in Avengers Secret Wars. I believe it was Deadline, or maybe Variety, that first reported it. At first, I was a skeptic, not because I didn't think she'd be a great choice for Jean Grey. My hesitation was that it felt like everyone was only theorizing she has to be Jean Grey because she has red hair, as if hair dye doesn't exist. I don't think they'd pick an actor based on hair color. Sure, it doesn't hurt that Sadie Sink is a natural redhead, but the real reason she was chosen is because she's such a great actor, and she's becoming a household name thanks to Stranger Things. We had some fun speculating that she might play Rachel Summers, the daughter of Scott Summers and Jean Grey from the Fox X-Men universe, and that maybe Jean had been pulled into the MCU by Peter Parker's Spider-Man and simply couldn't be sent back because her mind can't be affected by a spell. We even joked she could be the multiversal, mind-controlling Spider-Man villain Spider-Queen. But of course, she's now confirmed to be playing Jean Grey. Why did they feel the need to hide that? I don't know. Maybe they thought it'd be a fun way to get people speculating and talking about the movie, to keep some mystery going. Maybe they didn't want new X-Men casting news to overshadow the film and wanted the focus to stay on Spider-Man. I'm not entirely sure, but I will say this: Jean Grey, who essentially serves as the villain of this Spider-Man movie, was not on my bingo card. Jean Grey as the villain of the next Spider-Man movie is not something I would have predicted even a year or two ago. Now, of course, the real villain of the film isn't Jean Grey. Spoiler warning here. If you don't want to know anything about the plot and just wanted to know she's playing Jean, click off now. But she's not the true villain, which shouldn't come as a shock, since she's clearly set up to become one of the X-Men, one of the leading heroes of the Mutant Saga. The real villain of the film is damage control and how they seek to control superpowered people, which sets up how they'll eventually try to control mutants. And I'll just say, I called it, big time, that the hand was working for damage control. Throw enough theories at the wall and you're bound to hit something. This movie establishes a lot for a very wide audience because, let's face it, everyone is going to see Spider-Man. I think that's one of the key reasons they chose to introduce her here. It lays the groundwork for the upcoming Mutant Saga, introducing the whole idea of controlling mutants or even stealing their powers, and mutants being persecuted and labeled dangerous. It even establishes mutant phobia within a mutant's own family. There's a scene where Jean is sitting on a bench talking to her sister, who also has mind control powers, and we learn their mother abandoned them. The film also introduces mutant inhibitor chips, developed by Bruce Banner and Peter Parker, or at least based on their research, which will almost certainly come back in the Mutant Saga after Secret Wars in the form of mutant inhibitor collars. I think Sadie Sink's Jean Grey is about to become one of the new faces of the MCU. I think she is the X-Men going forward. I'm honestly not sure the first X-Men MCU movie will even center on characters like Professor X or Magneto. Maybe they'll appear briefly at the end, but I don't think they'll have a primary role in that film. Backslash. I think we'll see Jean searching for other people like herself, looking for other mutants, and we'll watch the X-Men begin to form before they're officially the X-Men. When Professor X and Magneto are eventually introduced, since they're older, it could mean their MCU versions have been living in the shadows for a long time regarding their powers. With the Secret Wars reboot potentially rewriting history a bit, it's possible mutants have always been known about in some limited sense, but kept quiet. Which mirrors the Fox X-Men timeline, where the public didn't really become aware of mutants in a broad sense until around the year 2000. We even see Jean giving a speech, and I believe there's a very anti-mutant Senator Kelly in the mix. Coming back to the MCU X-Men film and Sadie Sink's Jean Grey, I think it's very possible that instead of leaning heavily on Xavier, Magneto, or Wolverine, the MCU's X-Men film and the Mutant saga overall, especially in its first phase, will lean hard on Jean Grey. I think they see Sadie Sink as a leading woman who can help carry this franchise forward. Her portrayal of Jean Grey in this movie is fantastic. I loved it. She's a phenomenal actress, and she's proven she can play both villain and hero. She's a complicated character, Jean Grey, and this performance sets the stage for her to potentially take another crack at the Phoenix Saga someday. They've done it twice now, and honestly, it's never quite landed. There are so many other great X-Men and mutant stories to tell, so I'll take that back a bit. I hope they steer clear of the Dark Phoenix storyline for a good while. Hopefully, this villainous role she played for most of Brand New Day is the exception, and the rest of her run as the character, at least for a long while, will be as a hero. Sadie Sink is 24 years old. She could play this character for another 20 years if they wanted. So there's plenty of time for great Jean Grey stories first. And if they eventually want to revisit Phoenix, they'll have a hero audiences have followed for over a decade, maybe 15, 20 years, as a leading character of this saga, before she becomes the very threat that unites the X-Men, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, everyone in a fight against her. Does that sound familiar? Well, those are my thoughts on Sadie Sink playing Jean Grey. She gave a great performance in the film. I'm tired. I just drove back from seeing the movie, so I'm going to head home. I love you guys. I'll be putting out a spoiler review soon where we dig into the post-credits scene along with a full Easter egg breakdown and ending explained right here on Unfold With You. So be sure to check back for that. All right, I love you all.